Salvete discipuli. Today we are going to review our sort of last part of speech from Latin 2. We're going to look at the pronouns. Now, I have already given you the paradigm sheet because essentially the pronouns just need to be memorized. There are a lot of them, and I understand that this is a little bit of a challenge, but of course you already have them in your memory from last year, and now we need to revisit them and sort of reorganize our thoughts. Demonstrative pronouns, these are ones that point out, right? This, that, these, those, that kind of stuff, okay? The demonstrative pronouns can be used as pronouns or as adjectives, okay? So you can say illa, that man, or you can say illa liber, that book, okay? Translates as that or those, illa, Allah, alud, Ilias, 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 Eli, Eli, Eli. Now, from there on, I'm not really going to go through the entire declension because it mostly follows the second conjugation pattern. Notice that the genitive of demonstrative pronouns, and actually many, many, many pronouns, is going to have an IUS ending in the masculine, feminine, and neuter. And a long I ending in the dative singular masculine, feminine, neuter, okay? That is certainly the case for our next demonstrative pronoun, hic, hic, hoc, huius, 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 that IUS. Hui, queek, queek. This one has, of course, a C at the end of its so that shortens the I, but again, an irregular dative singular ending, okay? Ista, asta, astud follows the same declension as ilalud. It's practically the same pronoun, meaning that or those of yours, except for it has a negative connotation. Okay, so you can say that, your friend comes up to you and says, oh, I'm dating that guy. And you go, oh, you're dating that guy? That's ilalud. Or you could say, oh, you're dating that guy? That's a stud. That's that guy with a negative connotation. We have the personal pronouns. Is, aya, id is a personal pronoun meaning he, she, it, or ai, aya, meaning they. But when used as an adjective, which it can be used as an adjective, it translates as this or these. Note once again that you have that IUS ending in the genitive singular and the long I ending in the dative singular, okay? Okay, the same. Now this is a demonstrative adjective, idem, eadem, edem, meaning the same. This follows the same declension as is, ea, id, with some very obvious distinctions, as you can see. Isdem becomes edem, and that's an important macron because this will mean the same man, whereas idem will mean the same thing. Notice that whenever there should be an M, like ayam, ayam, in the accusative masculine singular and feminine singular, it changes to an N before the dem. So instead of ayumdem, it's ayundem, ayandem. You'll notice that also in the genitive plural, okay? Continuing with the personal pronouns, we have the first person singular pronoun, ego, mehi, mei, mihi, me. The vocative tends to be me, although not used too often, obviously. The first person plural is we or us, and that's nos, nostrum, or nostri, nobis, nos, nobis, nos. Second person singular, tu, tui, tibi, te, tu. And then second person plural, wos, westrum, or westri, wobis, wos, wobis, wos. Okay, reflexive pronouns are going to be obviously very similar to the personal pronouns, with the exception that there is no nominative form. The reason for this is that reflexive pronouns always refer back to the subject, right? So if the subject is I, and I want to say, I don't know, I give a gift to myself, I would use mihi, dative, reflexive, okay? So they're going to be the same until you get to the third person reflexive pronoun. The third person reflexive pronoun is the same in the singular and plural. So sui sibi say means of himself, of herself, of itself, or of themselves. Okay? Same with sibi, to or for himself, to or for themselves. Say and say being also similarly both singular and plural. We also learned some intensive pronouns. For example, ipsa, ipsa, ipsum. If used by itself, you would translate it he himself, or she herself, or I myself. If I wanted to use it, ipsa with a first person singular verb, it would be I myself, ipsa, did this thing. Okay, and again, that IUS ending in the genitive singular, long I in the dative singular, sort of indicative of pronouns, right? The relative pronoun sets up relative clauses, okay? Qui, qui, quad, cuius, 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 qui, 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 and so on and so forth. Remember that you need the antecedent of the relative pronoun in order to get the number and the gender of the pronoun, but you get the case of the relative pronoun based on how it's functioning in the relative clause. So you need to understand the antecedent. Now remember that the antecedent is the word in the main sentence, in the main clause, that the relative clause is giving more information about, okay? So you need that antecedent to give you the gender and number of the pronoun, of the relative pronoun. Interrogative pronouns are similar. They're actually exactly the same in the plural, but in the singular it's quis, quid. You'll notice that the masculine and feminine have the exact same ending, so this quo could be ablative singular, masculine, feminine, or neuter for that matter, but there's not a qua because the masculine and the feminine share the same declension, okay? These are how you ask who or what or which, whose. Okay, compounds of the interrogative pronoun are some of the indefinite pronouns, okay? So for example, aliquis, aliquis, aliquid. Now you'll notice the quis, cuius, qui, quem, quo. This is the interrogative pronoun, but with the ali put before it, and that means someone, something, or somebody, okay? Quisque, cuisque, cuique, quemque, quoque. Again, this is quis, cuius, qui, quem, quo, but with a quel in the end. This means each person or each thing. And also remember, quisquis means whoever, and quidquid means whatever. They actually aren't really found in other cases. Mostly only in the nominative, quisquis, whoever, and quidquid, whatever. Okay, so fill in your paradigm, and I hope you have a great evening. Have a good night, ladies.